Namaskar friends, you might have surprised after seeing the title of this video. You must have heard how Vastu transforms a house into home, an industry into money-making machine, a commercial establishment into very successful organization, and so many things. But you might never have heard about transformation of a nation with the help of Vastu. So don't be surprised, but it is going to happen. This is the fact. Vastu is going to transform the destiny of our nation, India, Bharat, character of the nation, and the future path of our nation. If you want to understand, please listen this video carefully and fully to the last, so that you can understand how our nation India is going to be transformed with the symbols of Vastu, which are very powerful. And symbols like this I have used in thousands of cases in last 3 decades, more than 30 years, and they have transformed the destiny of industries, commercial establishments, organizations, all type of organizations, even homes. So now I am going to elaborate, and before elaborating the whole thing, I want to attract your attention to the parliament. Why parliament? Because parliament is the center of the energy of our nation. Here we draft the laws, our lawmakers sit there, our destiny makers who define our nation sit there. And this parliament is the most important icon of our nation, democratic nation. And if you might have seen, if you are following me, our channel, you must have heard, you must have listened our YouTube video in which I had attracted the attention of our persons who are sitting at the making decision of the nation about the shape and size and symbols of our last parliament. And I was the first Vastu consultant who had raised this point that our old parliament, circular in shape, was in contradiction to the shape of the plot in which staying. The whole shape of the plot was triangular and the shape of the parliament was circular, and the triangular shape defines fire. Fire always rise like this, and the circular shape defines the Akash Tattva, sky element. Both are conflicting, both conflict each other, both are contradictory to each other. So that was the reason we hardly could reach any single point, unless there is emergency, our opposition and our the ruling party always remain in conflict, and a conflict became our nature. India, argument, conflict everywhere. So I suggested that if we are going to create new parliament, this problem should not be repeated, and our decision makers took cognizance of my suggestion. I'm very happy. I'm very much thankful to I don't want to name any particular person or any dignitary, but they took cognizance of my suggestion, and they decided that because the plot left for the new parliament was triangular in shape, they decided that the shape of the new parliament will be triangular. Although it was a bit based on the Bija Mandal temple, which is in Vidisha district of MP. So it is a something like Pentagon shaped also. Pentagon is the military headquarters of the USA, but primarily it is triangular. So it is in its shape is conducive to the shape of the plot on which the new parliament has been made. So the shape of the plot of the new parliament is triangular, fire energy, fire tattva, fire element, as well as the building also connotes fire element. And when both are emitting the very powerful energy, the fire element, no one can restrict this nation from the path of fire. Path of fire. No one can blame us being cowardice, being and every time, if someone tries to create conflict with us, that nation will get a proper lesson. So the fire element is rising from the new parliament like anything. So this is the first Vastu element which will cause our nation to be a superpower in future. The second element which very important, I want to draw your attention to the defining symbol of the old parliament. What was it? If you can remember, if you have visited parliament, if you have seen carefully the pictures of old parliament, there was a 16 feet height Gandhi idol statue in the meditation posture. Gandhi itself defined non-violence, and when he is sitting in the meditation posture, it 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 indicated, yes, it indicated contemplation and to some extent inactivity, stillness, which, as per my belief, don't criticize me, it was not conducive for befitting that place which was the center of the power of the nation. And it defined the whole character of our nation. Inactivity, non-violence, remaining mute spectator. Yes. In olden times, you must have seen that the persons who were the Mahamatya, the most important consultant to the king, he remained in the hermit. He never stayed in the palace of the king. It might be Vasishtha, it may be Kautilya, whoever it may be. Normally they stayed in hermit, in forest, or distant from the king's palace. Vidura, everyone never stayed with the king. And that was the proper way to handle. But when you are, when Gandhi itself is sitting before the parliament, is most imposing position, doing meditation, it was not a proper way. But in the new parliament, which is the defining symbol, it is the roaring lions, the lion capital or national emblem with the roaring lions. And many persons have criticized that it is looking very cruel to sit roaring lions on the top of new parliament. But now it is there. They are defining our character. Roaring lions ready to pounce upon anything which is going to harm our nation. All the four lions sitting, viewing all the risks and attacks, possible attacks in any direction, they are sitting on the top of the new parliament. So this is the great transformation from meditating Gandhi to the roaring lions. And this, so this is the great second point which is going to define our national character. The third point from the Vastu perspective is very important, that if you have visited India Gate, which is on the erstwhile Rajpath, now it has been renamed as Kartabya Path, the path of duty, from the path royal path to the path of duty. It has been new name has been given. Earlier it was Rajpath. Rajpath means royal passage, royal path. Now it is the path of duty, Kartabya Path. So if you are coming from president's house, because Kartabya Path or Rajpath started from president's house, and it passed to reached India Gate, where there was some flame, it was called and along with a inverse rifle, and thereafter there was a canopy which was empty. Before independence, the King of England statue was there, and after independence it was removed rightfully. So, but it was lying vacant, and many times a lot of proposals came to install the statue of Nehru, Emperor Ashoka, Emperor Akbar, and so many persons, and most importantly, the Gandhi statue. Even our family friend and very respected Sri Ramban Sutar had given a concept of Gandhi statue along with two children, and you can see that image, concept image on the screen, but nothing was finalized. And incidentally, I actually forgotten to mention that the erstwhile the Gandhi statue which I just mentioned was installed in the old Parliament building, was also designed by the respected Ramban Sudarji, who had designed a lot of statues and idols, including the highest statue in the world, that is the statue of unity of respected Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So Ramban Sutarji had given the concept of Gandhi statue, but the current government decided and installed the statue of Subhash Chandra Bose, which is in military fatigue, military dress, saluting the nation, saluting the president house, saluting to the whole consciousness of nation. And see, if you are installing a Gandhi statue with compassion, or you are installing Subhash Chandra Bose idol in the military fatigue, it makes a lot of difference to the consciousness of the nation. If you remember the slogans of Subhash Chandra Bose, "Give me your blood, I will give you independence," and so many things, it always comes into your mind, the Indian National Army, everything, very powerful, very powerful. It comes, always come into mind, always come into mind. So, this is the big change. This is the big change. And Subhash Chandra Bose is not a normal, he is in military fatigue. And it is giving empowerment to the nation in a very different perspective. So this is the third point. This is the third point which is going to define our nation in the future as per Vastu perspective. And the fourth and last, the perspective, Vastu perspective, is that new National War Memorial. National War Memorial. Actually, earlier also there was a war memorial which was just below the India Gate, a inverted inverse rifle and a flame coming out. It was called Amar Jawan Jyoti. Now it is no more. It has been transferred to the last point of the Kartabya Path with the National War Memorial and called Rashtriya Samar Smarak in Hindi. And a very beautiful place. I don't want to describe and stop your surprise, but you should go there and see what has been created by the current government. So on the Kartabya Path, at one end is the Rashtrapati Bhavan, President House, and other end It is National War Memorial. Earlier, there was a memorial in India Gate, below India Gate, but it was running passage. But when something is at the end, it creates a lot of importance. And the character of the National War Memorial is very, very, very militaristic, fighting spirit, which was not available in the India Gate Memorial. It was something related to sacrifice. But the character, if you see how it has been designed, it is giving the power of fighting. So all these four जो है first जो है the new parliament which is trine in shape, and if I don't know whether I mentioned you or not जो है all the curved designs convey feminine energy in the Vastu, and all the straight line, especially the trine shape, connote very strong masculine energy. So the parliament design has been changed. The plot has been very powerful, fiery element. The national, the symbol statue which is defined parliament has been changed from meditating Gandhi to the national emblem of Singha. The installation of Subhash Chandra Bose idol in the military fatigue, military dress, and the last one, the installation of National War Memorial at the fag end of the Kartavya Path. All these are going to define our character in the coming future, and believe me, no other nation can see or threaten us in future. And you can see the changes, what is going to what is happening. Instead of importing ammunition, arms and ammunition, we have started exporting arms and ammunition. Our whole military culture, navy culture, and air force has been changed. Even symbols have changed, flags are getting changed, and we are going to establish as a superpower in the whole world. Forget our great defeat from the China. Now no nation can defeat us. One may criticize that we are going to a totally different path, not defined by the Gandhiji or other freedom fighters, but it is going to be the path of self-respect and prestige. But I am very proud of these changes, and it will certainly benefit our nation. One thing, but I miss one thing. I had suggested to the decision makers of our nation to create a buffer zone between old parliament and new parliament as per norms of Vastu, but it has not yet been heeded. But I believe that it will be done. And because why I'm mentioning this point, because the old conflict between old parliament and new parliament of different elements, one is circular, one is trine, is going to create a lot of rift and conflict between past and present of India. You must have heard a lot of churning is happening about the past history, about the contribution of Nehru or destruction by him, whatever it is. But we have started very churning of our past in a very different way. We started churning, and to some extent, believe me, it is going into the negative direction. And if you have created that buffer state, this churning would have contributed in a very positive way. And if you're not doing that, that buffer zone as per Vastu, it will certainly create animosity, negative connotations, and conflicts. So while thanking our nation who are sitting on the top position of the nation. I don't want to name any person, but I am very much thankful to heeding my earlier request. This is the last request as a Vastu consultant, being a most scientific Vastu consultant of India. It is my humble suggestion that this suggestion should also be implemented. And congratulate, if you are from India, you are an Indian, I congratulate that all of you, that India is going to be a superpower in future. And so you, like me, you should also be proud of this feat and achievement to be achieved in future. Already we have started on this path, and the last, and I believe that the persons who are sitting at the top will heed my request and implement it. With this, I am concluding this video, and if you have liked this video, don't forget to subscribe my channel. I am Acharya Kalki Krishnan, most scientific Vastu consultant of India. I had transformed in my Vastu journey from more than 3 decades, around 32 years, transformed the fate and destiny of thousands of industries, commercial establishments, corporates, and so many government establishments, and also and obviously of the houses and homes. Namaskar again. I am Acharya Kalki Krishnan from AstroDevam.com.